Did you know that over 85% of people who apply at Amazon never make it past the first stage? Even if you make the phone screen, only 1 in 4 candidates reach the on site loop, and of those, just 1 in 3 walk away with an offer. For software engineers, it's even tougher. Reports show that as many as 92% of candidates are rejected at the on site interview. So, why do so many people fail? The truth is, it's not random. Most rejections come down to just one thing: candidates did not align their answers to the Amazon leadership principles. These 16 principles are more than just nice slogans. They're the DNA of Amazon's hiring process. Every single behavioral question you'll face in the interview is mapped back to one or more of these principles. And in this video, part 1, we're going to cover the first 8. For each, I'm going to explain why Amazon asks about it, what it means inside Amazon, and what kind of information you should include in your answers. And by the way, my interview toolkit includes all 16 leadership principles with tailored questions specific to the roles that you're applying for. I'm going to tell you a little bit more about that later on. So let's kick off with the first and most important one, and that's customer obsession. Why do they ask this? You see, Amazon's mission is to be the most customer-centric company on earth. Interviewers want to know that you'll prioritize the customer even when it's inconvenient or when there's pressure to cut corners. They're checking whether you think long-term about the customer trust. So what does this mean at Amazon? Internally, every decision starts with the customer. Teams are told to work backwards, start with the customer's needs, frustrations, and desires, and then, only then, design a solution. Customer metrics like satisfaction, loyalty, reduced complaints carry enormous weight inside Amazon. So what should you include in your answers? Talk about direct customer outcomes, not just process improvements. Show that you actually listen to the customer through interviews, surveys, data, or feedback loops. Highlight trade-offs that you made in favor of the customer, even when it created extra work or even conflict. And always bring quantifiable results. Fewer complaints, faster service, higher ratings, better retention. That's how you show that you're not just customer aware, but truly customer obsessed. Next is ownership. Why do they ask this? Amazon doesn't want people who only tick off their job description. They're testing whether you'll take accountability, step up when things go wrong, and act in the company's long-term interest. So what does this mean at Amazon? Ownership is cultural. If you see something's broken, you fix it. If there's a risk, you escalate it. If no one else is stepping in, you do it. And when things fail, owners take responsibility instead of passing the blame. So what things should you include? Talk about moments when you went beyond your role to solve a problem. Include examples of taking accountability for mistakes and what you learned. Show that you think with a long-term lens instead of chasing short-term wins. And detail your initiative, how you spotted issues, why you acted, how you followed through. Ownership is non-negotiable at Amazon. They want people who act like business owners and not just employees. Okay, now let's look at invent and simplify. Why do they ask this? Amazon thrives on innovation, but hates unnecessary complexity. Interviewers want to see that you can solve problems in ways that are creative, but also simple, scalable, and practical. So what does this mean for Amazon? Innovation here isn't just about giant inventions like Alexa or AWS. It's about streamlining everyday processes, removing frictions, and building clarity. Amazon often innovates under constraints like limited budgets, timelines, or people. Leaders are expected to invent anyway and simplify as they go. So what should you include? Think about times that you built or redesigned solutions, but emphasize on the simplicity and usability. Share how you innovated under constraints. This shows resourcefulness. And also show how your solution was scalable, not just a one-off fix. As well as describing tangible outcomes, such as the time saved, errors reduced, customer journeys improved. Amazon interviewers want to hear that you can both invent and simplify, not one or the other. Principle number 4 is I'll write a lot. Why do they ask this? Amazon wants to know that you consistently make sound decisions. They're probing whether you can balance instincts with data or whether you can admit when you're wrong. So what does this mean at Amazon? Being right a lot doesn't mean perfect. It means that you have strong judgment. You listen to different perspectives and you change course quickly when evidence demands it. Leaders here don't cling on to being right. They adapt to it. So what should you include? Explain your decision-making process, what information you gathered, how you weighed your options, who you consulted. Share examples of making calculated decisions with incomplete data. Also, don't be afraid to talk about corrections, times that you realized you were wrong and then pivoted. Always tie your decision back to impact, such as cost saved, risks avoided, opportunities captured. Amazon is less interested in perfection and more interested in repeatable good judgment. Principle 5 is learn and be curious. Why do they ask this? Amazon's always evolving, and they need people who evolve with it. They're testing to see if you invest in your own growth and seek out knowledge proactively. So what does this mean at Amazon? Curiosity here is active. It's about exploring new tools, industries, and ways of thinking, even outside your immediate role. Leaders who stop learning stagnate, and stagnation here is unacceptable. So what should you include then inside your answers? Think of times when you self-initiated learning, courses, tools, books, skills that you pursued without being asked. Explain how you applied that learning to solve real problems or create value. Examples of cross-functional curiosity are learning outside your expertise, like finance, marketing, or engineering. And talk about continuous improvement, how your curiosity kept you ahead of the curve. Interviewers are listening for proof that you're not just static, you're always expanding. Principle number 6 is hire and develop the best. So why do they ask this at Amazon? See, Amazon's obsessed with raising the talent bar. They want to know that you'll bring in, mentor, and grow strong performers, not just people who manage tasks. So what does this mean at Amazon? Developing talent is everyone's job. Leaders coach, mentor, and push their people to grow. They leave individuals stronger than when they found them. So what should you include? Include stories of mentorship, where you coached or guided someone to improve, times when you influenced hiring or recommended top talent, examples of raising performance standards, not just settling for average, as well as long-term development, helping people grow into future roles, not just the immediate tasks that they're doing. Amazon is listening out for whether you make others better, and that's the hallmark of leadership. Number 7 is insist on the higher standards. Why do they ask this? See, Amazon knows that its reputation depends on the quality. They want to know that you'll hold yourself and others to a higher bar, even under pressure. So what does this mean? High standards means spotting problems others overlook or refusing to compromise quality for speed and building systems that deliver consistency. It's not about perfectionism, it's about protecting the trust that they have. So what should you include? Think of examples like identifying substandard works or refusing to accept it. How you raise the bar, such as new processes, stricter benchmarks, better training, or a cultural effect, inspiring others to care about quality. And lastly, the results, higher satisfaction scores, fewer defects, faster delivery with fewer errors. Amazon expects leaders to protect and elevate the brand through their own standards. And finally, we have think big. Why do they ask this? Amazon doesn't want small incremental thinkers. They're testing whether you can imagine bold visions and pursue ideas that transform, not just improve. So what does this mean at Amazon? Thinking big means imagining new possibilities, scaling ideas across markets, and setting goals far above the minimum. Leaders are expected to think at a global scale, not just a team scale. So what should you include? Times that you showed ambition and went beyond what was expected. How your idea was scalable and not just a one-off fix. Or how you paired vision with execution, not just dreaming and making it real. And the impact, revenue growth, market expansion, efficiency gains at scale. Thinking big at Amazon is about scale, vision, and courage. So there we have it. The first 8 Amazon leadership principles explained in depth with insights into why they matter and what the interviewers are really listening out for in your answers. If you're preparing for an Amazon interview, remember that my interview toolkit includes all 16 of these principles with tailored questions for your specific role. It helps you structure your answers in a way that the Amazon interviewers are expecting. The link to this is in the description or pinned to the comments. And if you use code YT at checkout, you'll get 25% off. Now, before you go, if you found this video useful, I'd like you to take a second right now just to hit that subscribe button just below. Not just to be notified for when a new video gets uploaded, but because your engagement is the best and free way to tell YouTube, TikTok, and LinkedIn to share it out to a wider audience where somebody who really needs to see it will see it. Many thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.